Ms. Shea, you may give your closing, ma'am.
Thank you. May it please the court, Mr. Benson and Ms. Edwards. Sunglasses.
Leave that, the ones that's tabbed, leave them on. Everything else goes off. And the red one. There you go. Okay?
Thank you.
Go ahead, ma'am.
Good morning. You guys were a perky panel on Monday, too, so it's good to see that you're still in good spirits after 2 days, and I know that I speak for all of the court staff that we really appreciate your attentiveness, and we plowed through a lot of evidence in the last 2 days. I think it was 19 witnesses, so I just want to thank you for that. I'm going to step over here because I need to look with you at the big screen in order to do this. So we're here with a case against Timothy Kramer. And the judge is going to tell you that it's up to you to decide which evidence you should rely on. Use your common sense in deciding what's the best evidence. What you should consider in returning a verdict. Some of the evidence may not be as reliable as other evidence. And as the jury, you get to decide which evidence you want to rely on and which evidence you don't. It's also going to tell you that you have the prerogative. You may believe or disbelieve all or any part of the evidence or the testimony of any witness. So the factors, they give you some guidance, the instructions give you some guidance, the factors that you should consider. Well, actually, let's talk about the witnesses first. We have like 3 different categories of witnesses. Law enforcement witnesses, professional witnesses, and the lay witnesses. And the first day was largely law enforcement. You had Deputy Glass, he's the one that started the missing persons investigation. Patrolman Gauntlet from Home TV, who was just responding to Escandia's call for assistance, looking for Mr. Kramer in Milton, makes contact with him at his sister's apartment, takes him into custody. You have Lieutenant Charette, he seizes Dolores' phone. Lawrence Macia is a crime scene technician, collected the things in the apartment, photographed the defendant. Deputy Gitter, who located Rose's car in the park. Marissa Beeson photographed the car in the park, and then documented and collected all the evidence at the crime scene, and also went back in October and collected the evidence that they found in the truck, the firearm in the truck. Crime scene tech call, she did the first search warrant of the truck, documented the blue star and floorboard of the truck. Brittany Bishop did the same thing with the victim's car, documented the blue star footprints in the floorboard of her car. And Deputy Bevins, who downloaded everyone's cell phone prices. All of these people, and Investigator Crawford, the main investigator in the case. And she's sort of the, compiles all of the things, puts the investigation together, directs all of the activity as everything's unfolding. All of this evidence on Tuesday was really about establishing where Rosa was, where the defendant was, how he gets arrested, how they identify that he's the one that killed her. That was most of Tuesday. The professional witnesses, Dr. Lee, the veterinarian who examined Cody, Dr. Armstrong, the medical examiner, Ms. Snowden from FDLE, who tested the firearm and found that it matches the shell casings in the house. Ms. Wilkerson, who analyzed the DNA, primarily on the defendant's genes. And Investigator Little, who's law enforcement, but really his presentation is more about analyzing the cell phone data, not so much about piecing together all the evidence from the various crime scenes. And then you have the lay witnesses, Ms. Merkman and Mr. Keelis. These were family members of the decedent, and their testimony was largely geared towards establishing a timeline and historians for Rosa. where she was staying, where she went on the morning of the 23rd, about what time she left, the reason she was leaving, some of her habits. You know, they knew that she was unhappy in her marriage. They knew that she was separating from her husband. That was the substance of their testimony. LaShawn Kelly, who's the co-worker of the defendant. He knows he works as a stalker at the PetSmart. He knows he left work before he was supposed to leave work on the 23rd. He also knows that the defendant had expressed he knew his wife was leaving him. And he was, troubled enough about it to talk about it at work. And then the last witness was the defendant. So these are the factors that you should consider when you're thinking about the testimony of all of these witnesses. First, did the witness have the opportunity to see and know the things about which they testified? Does the witness have an accurate memory? Was the witness honest and straightforward in answering the attorney's questions? Did the witness have some interest in how the case should be decided? And think about this one because it could affect how they testify to you. That's why you should consider whether or not they had an interest. Did the witness at some other time make a statement that is inconsistent with the testimony he gave in court? There's really only one witness that was ever questioned about earlier statements that they made other than their testimony here today, and that was the defendant. He's the only one that said anything different than any other time that he was in court. And lastly, does the witness's testimony agree with the other testimony and evidence in the case? And these are not in order as they are in your instructions, but I think that this is the most pertinent of the criteria that you should, analyze the evidence through, because you have to make sure that it makes sense. Remember, the instructions say that you have to use your common sense in deciding which evidence is the best evidence. And so it's necessary to make sure that it agrees with the other testimony and evidence in the case. Now, State's Exhibit N3. These are the text messages between the defendant and the decedent. Now, you'll remember his testimony from yesterday. Rosa can't testify because Rosa is dead. But she's the only other one that knows what was really going on between them. The best thing that I can give you are the communications between Rosa and the defendant. So State's Exhibit N3 is that exhibit. Now, Investigator Crawford read what was said between them, really more what the defendant said to her on the 23rd. But they start, I think, on the 11th of July. And it's about 83 pages, front and back. I'm going to go through a number of these pages, and I really hope that I can see it on the big screen to make it easier to publish, which may be a little bit. Most of them don't have this many words on them. But I'm going to read off this one. This is on July the 16th. July the 16th is the day that she leaves. And it starts at 4:13 in the morning. She says, I need to get out. And she also, both of them, have pretty poor grammar and spelling and syntax and whatnot in their text messages. We do the best we can with it. I need to get this out of my chest. I want to start by saying I love you, but we are back on the same old song. You cannot say you're happy like this. I don't know what to do anymore. All we do is sleeping early. It doesn't matter if you're next day. I need time, and seriously, we can't keep on leaving like, I do have love for you, but I can't keep leaving like this. I suggest to you she needs living like this. He responds, I feel the same thing. I thought you were going to get the job yesterday, so that put me back in my slump. I don't know what to tell you, but to go off and do something if you want. I'm trying to make sure there's enough for the bills and not trying to spend a penny, save gas, doing what I think is the right thing to do. We both just lay there and don't say anything, so we are both at fault. I love you with all my heart, but you would have a place to live if something happens I don't. She responds, I don't have any to say. You don't show me affection anymore. It's okay. I'm not putting my body to blame, anybody to blame. So I'll be moving out today. And if it is meant to be, we will find our old love we had and maybe back on track. Remember, I love you, and just trying this last thing. Hope it helps, but I love you. All I can say right now until I get my old Tim back. I love you. Please don't pick this fight anymore. Remember, I always have loved you, but this step has to happen. The defendant's testimony yesterday is that she was the aggressor in all of this, that she is the angry, agitated, aggravated one. But that's not what's played out in these messages. Still on the 16th, the defendant says, again, you have a place to sleep. I will not when they come and take the house back. But, oh, well, guess that it's my fault. You have throwing up leaving now for a while. She says, this is the only way I can think that things will get better. I have no other ideas. So if a place to live is what's bothering you, sell the house and you will have money. Defendant says, you say you love me, but you don't put the person you love on the streets. But you have a great day, and I will not bother you anymore. And thanks for telling me you're leaving over the phone. I will leave you now. I will leave you be now. She says, I hope being us close together or farther apart. Defendant responds, if you leave, we are done. I will tell you that much. You will have to tell me when I was at work. You would have to tell me when I was at work. I at least would have told you that it is not love telling me you're leaving when I was at work, or hell thing. I will drop, I think this text message, I will drop him off at my grandparents' house when I get home. Thanks for telling me this while I was at work. You knew that I was having issues at my job. That shows how much you really love me. You've planned this for a while now, so you go live with your dad and take care of him. Rosa said, if that is not so, but if you want to think that, so be it. Done with the fighting arguments and not being happy because you talk at the old us back but didn't try. I will not text you anymore unless it is to fix things, not to fight. He responds, you have not tried either, it's on both of us. Okay, so you're going to walk out with at least both trying. I think I got this now. I am waiting to take for real thinking and actually fix the broken. Defendant, like I said, you leave, it's over, and that is showing me that you're not willing to work on us, but are willing to walk out on us. Well, at least I know that the house is not getting paid from this point on. Instead of telling me, hey, we need to fix this, you just tell me you're walking out. Sorry, but that just blows my mind. She says, you can't say this hasn't been going on for a while. And he responds, yeah, but I would never just walk out on you ever. So you're going to be gone when I get back. Could you at least tell me that much? Are you going to be gone when I get back? She says, yes, I'm gone. I do love you, but you don't think I do. If you do want me back and love me, real love, he says. Well, yes, I want you and don't want you to leave. I would have fixed this already if I knew how and knew what to fix. So then I need to leave for work because Aiden can't be there by himself. Rosa says, he's fine, he's eating. If you do say you love me, then fight for me and show me. Defendant, I can't fight for you when you're gone. Rosa, yes you can, you have done before. Defendant, and this so far has been a span of about 2 hours, a little less than 2 hours. Please don't do this. I can't handle you walking out on me, please. Well, I'm at home alone the next 2 days if you want to come talk to future out what we are going to do. I texted you that I am home and also home tomorrow if you want to talk, and you did not reply, so I will leave you alone. I sit here heartbroken. So don't say I didn't try to fix this. So he starts with, please don't do this. I can't handle you walking out on me, please, at 6:06. Then he says, well, I'm at home alone for the next 2 days if you want to come and talk. That's at 6:41. I texted you that I'm home, and I'm also home tomorrow if you want to talk, and you didn't reply, so I'm going to leave you alone and sit here by myself. And that's at 6:54. So he gave her, 13 minutes? And then he says, so don't say I didn't try to fix this at 6:58. We busted our asses off to get what we have, and it's all gone in the blink of an eye. 7:01. She says, I will come by tomorrow and talk to you. I need to think. I've been telling everyone I need mental help, but no one helps me. But I help everyone out, including helping me with 80. Love that kid like my own. Defendant. Well, he's gone for now, and I can't help you with the mental health part. Dr. Lee has to do that. She says, well, I was denied Sedgwick for being out. He replies, I take it after all the time we've been together, you can't make time to come and talk to me. So no, hold on. I take it after all the time we have been together, you can't make time to come and talk. So know what, you have to go back to work. I knew they were going to deny you because you just came back from it not too long ago. We both have issues going on, and as a couple, you work on them together, you don't just walk out. She said, all I can say is I'm sorry for flipping your world upside down. Mine is too. I know I did this. Heart to wake up, to know that I am more than just a check, and I am more than just your babysitter. And he says, I'm so hurt right now, I don't know what to do. I lost my best friend, love of my life. She says, I didn't walk out on you. I need someone that is going to love me and appreciate me for what I do, not look at me with that look of hate. Defendant, it's both of our fault that we are where we are at right now. I told you I was home. You don't want to try and fix this. I cannot force you. Defendant, you don't just wake up one day and take your stuff and leave unless it was planned. Defendant, I love you with all my heart and soul and would do anything to fix this. But when you walked out on me, that tells me that you're done. This is now at 7:32 on the same day. Have a great life. Be safe. Stay safe, because no matter what I say is going to fix it. 7:34. I don't know if it is your mental health issues, but you don't just walk away after all this time. I invite you to come over and fix this, but you have other plans today. That shows you're not willing to fight for me, and you're done. 7:46. And then, lastly, call that guy back that tried to set up the interview, or call Alexa for a job at 7:52. At 7:58, from this point on, I'm going to let you be. You left me. I guess I should take the hint. Well, I got it. At 8:23, I sit here alone, heartbroken, sad, lost my best friend, lost the love of my life. 9:05, I want my wife back home. I am lost, but does not look like that will ever happen. 9:26, I can't believe you're not heartbroken over this, and I'm lost as hell. She says at 9:26, I love you and I miss you, but I just can't keep living this life because it's not a marriage. And you just, like for my grandkids to come spend the night, you don't let any of the kids around. I want to grow old with, but I need you to be 100% sure that you want me and that things will work out. All of the arguments we have, and 1 week you're okay, the next week you get on to me about some things. You talk as if you're pissed off at me. We are going to work on us, then you will have to show me that you want me back. Fight for the love I have. You think I just jumped up and left you. That's not so. I left because I'm tired of how you talk down to me. I am in, it says tired, I believe she means tears. I am in tears. I don't have my best friend, but it can't keep going the way we're going. One of us needs to make the change. Defendant. Both of us need to change. You left me, I lost my world, but saying that, it was just not my fault. She says, not just yours, mine too. We were always going place to the beach early in the morning to pick shells, but you don't doing that. I want to be with you. I am shaking and lost for words. I don't know what to do. Defendant, I am lost. How do you think I'm feeling? Rosa, I am too. Just think of how to fix this, and I will do the same. I am lost big time. You are the light in my world, but I can't keep getting hurt by hateful words and feeling like I'm no good for you. So it's clear that she's struggling. She's trying to articulate to him what her complaints are. She feels like she's berated. She feels like he's constantly
talking down to her, being mean to her. And his whole response is always, it's both our fault, or when are you going to come and talk to me? We're still on the 16th. Her solution is we need to take a break. We need to think about ourselves. You know, we need to see where we can each work on this. That's her approach in this, and his approach is, you left, you need to come back and talk to me. And that's it. Defendant at 9:34. Well, I feel the same way and always last in your life. You're lost, I'm lost, neither of us know what to do. I don't have a clue on how to fix my wife walking out on me. I did nothing that deserved you walk away from our marriage after how long we never been together. I'm sitting here thinking on what to do with all the stuff in the house. Hell, most important, where do I go live? I'm so fucking lost. Defendant, okay, so there's nothing. Okay, so nothing. You have a great day and night. I'll see you whenever. This is killing me. You just don't know. I see you took all of your shoes and work stuff. You took all that and had plans on never coming back. Now, we go through a couple of messages where Rosa explains she doesn't have her glasses, can't read the text messages. She's dropped them off to be repaired, has to pick them up, and then she picks back up after this and then the defendant says, just be honest, you don't plan on coming back. She says, I plan on coming back if and when you decided to treat me as your wife and not talk down to me or lose your temper when something doesn't go right. Plus, you're always negative. That's what I would for you to work on, showing me by text. Send me flowers. Do the same thing you did at the beginning to win my love. Defendant, and what about you? What are you going to work on? Rosa, tell me what about me. What would you like? Because you talking about the stuff is in there. Well, that shows me you're not trying to work on anything. How I offer marriage counseling, pay the $70 deposit for you to tell me later you don't want to go, so I'm out $70, okay? That told me you didn't because material stuff matters to you more than me. It's all you. Stop and think about me, Rosa, who needs to feel loved and appreciate me and take me and my family as their family as well. Now remember, the defendant said something about marriage counseling. He said something about losing the money for that. And here Rosa's like, I asked you to go to marriage counseling. I said, please go with me to marriage counseling. And she's the one that lost the money. But that's not what the defendant represented to you yesterday. Defendant, again, it all comes down to me and being my fault. He's being manipulative with her. He is sort of projecting all of this onto her. And she says, you pointed out what was wrong with me, so I did the same to work on it. Defendant, I didn't point out anything. She says, maybe not today, but you point out all my issues I see, or anything else down at to where I can and can't go out. I have to hurry home for what? To watch you sleep. Defendant, I see, so we're going to put it all on me. You have a good day and night. She says, no, I asked to have time and time again what to do and what I did wrong. Defendant, like I said, you have a good day and night. Love you. You're going to let you be and do things you want to do. I like how you pointed out everything that is wrong with me, but I did not say nothing about you. All I said was it's both our faults. Taking my nighttime meds and a few more to sleep through this nightmare. Skipping ahead a little bit, we're moving to the 17th. She says, I'm going to be as honest as I can. We have a lot to work on, and this back and forth from each other, it's not doing any good. And this back and forth from each other is not doing any good. I'm sitting here, and I think if I want to continue with the back and forth, and I don't, I'm tired of being talked to like I'm Aiden, and I want you to give me your respect. And I heard you have to receive respect to get it back. I am confused and lost and broken too, but this is the last time I will do this. But this has to come from both of us instead of sitting there eating gummy and going to sleep. That's not a life. You have said all kinds of hurtful words, and never once have you apologized to me for something you said, and I did, and then you find the truth. I want a man that can take care of everything, since the man is the head of the house. Anything that breaks, I have to figure it out or get my dad to come over and help. You put so much of me. You have put so much of me to take care of you, but you never did anything wrong because you never have said you're sorry. So yes, I'm going to be here until I figure out if I can get this man my fellow head over heels. For now, I'll just work on you and take this time to fix you. And if you would allow it, can I bring the white dresser or the TV? And if you would allow it, can I bring the white dresser and one TV? If not, all good. And the defendant's representation yesterday was that she comes in demanding pieces of furniture, and he wants to split it up in the divorce. Mind you, throughout all of these messages, the whole thing is never about divorce from him. From him, it's about, you need to come home, you need to come back, you can't leave. And here she says, and if you would allow it, as if she's asking. And she says, can I bring the white dresser and one TV? So it means there's multiple TVs in the house. If not, it's all good. She'll get over it. It's not, that's not a big deal to her. And he says, no, it needs to be fixed before anything else leaves the house. All that shows me is that you don't plan on coming back. If it's over, just say it, please don't string me on. Which she does keep saying over and over and over again. She keeps saying, I need a break, we need to work it out, we need to work on our things. His whole response is, either come back or just say you're done. And he just guilt trips her through all of these messages. Defendant, your dad knows how to fix things. I do not. My father never showed me nothing. You're just going to come and take it when I'm not here. We both know this. You're acting like this is just my fault. It takes two people to cause issues, and two people have to fix them. Just be honest, you have no plans on coming back. He's really not offering to help fix anything. He's just trying to box her into saying she's not coming back. She says, honestly, I don't know if I will be back either. Just remember, always know that you will always be in my heart. I do love you a lot, and this is killing me, but I need to clear my head, and this is the only way I know how. He says, you won't even answer the phone. Please, I need to hear your voice. I can't do this without you because you're my rock. You're the only one that holds me together. He'll say something nice like that. And then I skipped ahead a few pages. So I ended at page 34, 8:48 a.m. on the 17th. Skipping over to page 40, at 11:50, she says, always safe, I will stop by to get a box fan. He says, I'll put one in the front room for you. Well, I guess and that was at 11:51. 11:52, well, I guess I'll see you when either of us gets a chance. And she says, I am stopping by to get the fan. I will give you a hug and a kiss. All I'm asking is to take this time, however long it will take us, and to get back on track as we define ourselves. Defendant, I've given up on life. Hell, I can't even keep my wife happy, and at our house I have failed. You're acting like you're going to be gone for weeks. I can't do this without you. I'm a broken man. I can see it in your eyes that we're over. She says, no, what you see in my eyes is worry about what has happened and how long it's going to take for you, I think she means us, to go back together. We can start dating again. This is what I would like for us, to take steps as if we were dating. Phone call, pretty text, and maybe just go have a picnic. Of that matter, we can show respect for one another. And the defendant says, and that's telling me you're not going to be back by the time it is my birthday and our wedding anniversary. The house will go into foreclosure. I can't afford these bills by myself. I'm begging you to please come home. I can't do this anymore. The way I take this is that you want to start from the beginning, dating, and then move on from there. This will take months, and I'm not going to live by myself for months. It's always all about him in all of these messages. And then skipping again to page 54, and this is July 18th. She says, and if you read the intermediary pages, it appears that there was a time when they were reconciled and they were back together because they're lovey-dovey a little bit in the messages. And this is afterwards, and she's leaving again. And she says, "Forgive me. I'm a screwed up person. I don't want for you to get the same way. I want to work on us. Anyway, I love you, broken-hearted and incomplete. My world is falling without you in it. I hate sleeping alone, but for once, please, if you really want to work things out, but when I if you really want to work things out, but what I suggested you don't want to do. I think we both need to clear our mind and move forward together. My heart hurts that you will never be in my life again just because you don't want to work things out week by week. I'm lost, my brain hurts, my heart aches for us, and all the damage I have done, not only with you, but with others also. I am not a woman I can give my husband what he wants because of my mood swing. We need a new beginning. Seduce me like you used to do. I always loved you." He says, "Good morning, my sweet love. I see you took the rest of your clothes and jewelry box. I hope you keep true to your work." I think he means word, "and will see me today." And then he says, after seeing that you took the rest of your stuff, I don't have a good feeling. This is on the 19th, starting at 2:50 in the morning. I need you to call me ASAP, please. Hold on, the messages that he started with "good morning" and "I see you took your stuff," that's 2 in the morning, 2:14 in the morning. At 2:50, he says, "I need you to call me ASAP, please." Let's use the Meet video chat, that's at 3:07. "Please call me now, ASAP, important," that's 3:26 a.m. At 5:41 a.m., he says, "I miss you so much, I've never heard this bad in my life. When are you coming over? I want every second I can't get with you." At 6:17 a.m. Then at 7:11 a.m., "I got a feeling that you're not coming. If you're not coming over, please just tell me." She says, "I'm not sure yet," at 10:37. Then he says, "Please call me. Important, please," at 10:37. "Please answer, it's important. If it's the last thing you do, all I want to do is talk. I know you're not going to come over. Well, I tried." All of those messages are within 5 minutes. "You gave up before giving it a chance, and I seen you took $200 from the bank account. I've given you 12 years of my life. Is it too much to ask to hear your voice, please? You lied to me. When you took the rest of your stuff yesterday, you knew you were not coming back. You could have been honest with me. You could have just told me the truth at least." At on the 19th at 11 o'clock, he says, "I quit my job," which we know he didn't do. He's trying to manipulate her, guilt trip her again. "All I'm asking is to hear your voice. Well, I guess that you don't have time for me. Sorry to bother you. I will let you be. I see you don't want anything to do with me anymore. Sorry I messed up your life." Then he sends a family picture. "I guess you don't even have 1 minute. I can't hear your voice. That's so much to ask of you. Please, are you still coming?" She says, "Yes, I just had to take care of a few things as I told you. I'm coming over. Give me time to put a TV on the wall for Dad. We didn't realize what time it was." He says, "You don't have to just answer your phone. I'm sorry I pushed you away and fucked up your love. I do. I'm sorry." She says, "I know you're stressed because you don't have money or a place to stay. What I can offer you is $10,000 for the house and a transfer to my name so you can try to build your life." He doesn't even respond to that, but she's trying to offer him solutions. He also doesn't mention anything about his 401k or being upset about losing money in the house. He never even says anything about that in any of these messages from her. But she's trying to offer him a solution, $10,000 for the house. And then he says, "I miss you and love you from like it was day one. I know you don't feel the same. I know where the money would come from, your dad, and he said that he's not getting involved in our anything," it's blank. Then she says, "I'm tired of getting hurt, after a while, the same thing year after year. My kids are the worst kids on this earth. I gave you a choice so you would not be in the street. I'm sorry this has gotten this far, so much build up." And then referring to the dad, she says, "He doesn't, but he also doesn't want to see you in the street." Defendant, "He told me he was not getting involved in it, so I'm going to take his work as you." She says, I know, but I asked for it so that you won't be in the street. I care about you so that, and he does too. And then she says, I didn't understand your last message. If you cared, you would find it in your heart to forget the past and move, and both of us keep moving. It's not doing either of us any good. We can't get past this and move on with my whole life. We can get past this and move on my whole life, my everything. We have been through worse, and make it worse. She says, please, I don't want you to suffer anymore. Take your medicine and go rest your mind. She says, I can't sleep, eat, move out. I can't eat, move out over the bed. I'm broken and it can't be fixed. Please is say my heart, you're doing this to take care of your dad and I understand it more than you know. She says, I am with him because he needs me. I love you, but I don't think this can be fixed again. He's already done it for both of us. And he responds, I miss you so much. Please don't do this. We can work it out. We can leave this town. I need to see you, please. I'm begging you, please, to see you today. Please give me this one last thing. I was not trying to be nosy, but you got something from the Social Security office, and it was a check for you for $1,507.87. Again, sorry, not trying to be nosy. And he's opening her mail. I've been up all night. Let me know what you want done with this check, please. She said, I read your message. I'll stop by and pick up the check. When, please? I'm going to change and I will be there. Like in a few hours from now, once I get dressed, I just woke up. Can I call you to hear your voice, please? Guess that's a no. I know you don't care about me anymore, but I got that. She says she's on her way. Why won't you answer my calls? Do you hate me that much? She puts in her dad's address. I miss you so much. I'm in so much pain right now. I'm worried where I will be in a month from now. Alone is running through my head. I need your help. I don't want to be homeless. She says, I don't want you to be homeless either. I need your help, so I am not. I'm going to help you get a place. She says, I can't afford a place by myself. Can I call you, please? She says, I'm going to help you. I promise if they take the house, which I'm hoping we can work together to sell it so you won't be homeless. I just messaged everybody waiting for them to answer. He says, I love you. It hurts so bad, baby. I'm hurting big time. I'm begging you to please come spend the night with me. We both need this family picture. Please call. I'm begging you. Please, I need you so bad. And it's going straight to voicemail. And then he says, I'm up whenever you want to come and get me, my sweet love. I miss you so much. I'm hurting really bad. I need you back home. I will never hurt you again. Trust me, you have opened my eyes big time. I had hope and believed you would be home today. After talking to you today, I have a 0% chance that you will be home now. I'm begging you, please don't go back on your word you gave me yesterday. I promise with all my heart and soul things will never go back to the way they were. You've opened my eyes. Please don't throw away 13 years over petty things. I know deep in my heart it's going to be a no, I understand, but you're willing to come over, even if it's just for 1 hour, please. The race sucks. All of our drivers are way in the back. I guess he's watching NASCAR. When you get a second chance, please call me. Thanks. Baby, would you please call the mortgage company and see what they say and let me know, please. We're into the 22nd now of July. She said, yes, I will. Can I hear your voice if I call you? You are a cause yourself over and over. He doesn't understand what? I don't understand. She says, you are cause yourself to hurt. Over and over, throw the card up in the air and let them lay where they land. He says, I hurt without you. I cannot help. I'm hurting bad. She says, I know deep in my heart. He says, I know deep in my heart you want to come back, but you're torn between me and your dad. I will apologize to him for what I've done to you. And this is part of what we heard yesterday, where he prays, I love you and miss you. Please come spend the night with me. Will you cancel Hulu? And he says, please tell me you did not mean that long letter you left me. You told me today that we could fix this. You love and miss me. This is at 7, this is July 22nd at 9:29 a.m. Now, I know that was kind of painful and long, but I need to make sure that you see this and process what it's saying, because this is a very different flavor of the relationship than was represented by the defendant. And right here at 7:22 at 9:29 in the morning, is that talking about the long letter that she sent. This is the long letter that she sent. It states Exhibit S. And she sent it at 8:27 on the 22nd. And she says, I want to start by saying I really did have a lot of pain to see the pain in my heart. But all the times I told you over and over, you kept telling me it hurts. I know how many times I did that for weeks at a time when you kept sleeping in the other room or leave, if that's what you, all of them words hurt. Every time you attacked my kids, it hurt deep down in my soul. When you kept telling me to leave or pushing me away when I wanted to hold on to 10 years of my life, they were both got empty inside and gave up. Would not go out all the times I asked you to come out when I was dancing and asked you to come. Even on a Howard dance, you kept telling me no, so you pushed my love for you to be bruised. From here on out, you need to find you another true love, because my light was, I believe she means dim. My light was dimmed down till now. I just feel sorry for you. And I had a small amount of love for you, but you finished burning out, and I can't tell you that I can tell you my eyes are open now, and I see you, and honestly, I can't say the hardest way was to do this, but needs to be let you know that I love you, that I love, but I'm sorry my light for you was out. I love you, but I'm not in love with you. I'm sorry that I thought you was going to be my man for life, but sorry my light is out. You gave good days too, for that time I appreciate it, but from here on out, I am sorry, but I am not in love with you, and I am not in love anymore. You pushed me far, far away. We were having a good marriage till you got controlling as to when I need to be home, as if I was your prisoner. I told you I wanted out. I need out. You keep telling no, not till Aiden is 18. Look around, he's not 18. Well, I guess you sell the house, and that way you won't be in the street, and you can build your life again. I gave you many times to change. I did a lot to help you out, and it was never enough for you. I put my kids and my grandkids to the side because you call my daughter names. And my boys, you attack them too. And I held on for 11 to 12 years. I gave you 11 years to try to change, but no, didn't want to do that. I made a deposit of $70 for the marriage counseling, but you didn't want to do that. I treated Aiden as my son. Never called, I believe she means called him any name either. And that was more, but I will leave you with this letter. I'm sorry, but my love is gone. That was on the 22nd at 8:27. And then he responds, we can still work this out. Please don't do this. Reply to me so I know what's going on. Are you going to come back over here? If you don't reply to me, I will never know. I will give you your mom's bowl. He's trying to manipulate her into coming back over there so that he can continue to do the full press on her in person. That was at 10:09 on the 22nd. She says, I can stop by and get it at 12:54 on the 22nd. Come now, please, otherwise it will have to be tomorrow. This is at 1:12 on the 22nd. I will see you tomorrow. I put some stuff on the bed, the bowl and the photo album. I put it up and will give you when I see you tomorrow after I get off work. This is the 23rd at 2:41 in the morning. I need you to come get your stuff first thing. That way we don't have to see each other until we sign the papers. Sell the house. That way we can both move on. Let me know you're on your way. The glass door is locked. You said 5:30. I guess you don't want your stuff. Same types of messages. In 3 These were the text messages. Same thing in the text messages that we heard yesterday. M3 are the Facebook messages. It's the exact same content. He puts the exact same stuff in email, in text message, in Facebook, and he's blowing her up all the time. Constantly. All of those messages, most of those message bubbles are green. Without substance except to say, will you call me? Can I call you? Will you come over here? When am I going to see you? And then he will dangle carrots like, I'll give you your mother's bowl. I'll let you come get this fan. Whatever it is to get her to come there. So he says that she was aggravated, angry, red-faced, and drinking. The decedent's father said that when she left, she seemed stressed. She didn't seem, angry or upset really, but she was going over there to get the stuff. She knew that he wouldn't be there. And he says she comes in the door angry and upset and red-faced and had been and he believes she was drinking. Well, her blood alcohol in her autopsy report was 0.05. But remember, this is before 6 o'clock in the morning. And 0.05 isn't drunk. But she's got THC, she's got Xanax in her system. She has prescriptions for all of these things. And ME also said all of those things are depressants. They're downers. They're not, they're not the type that's going to hype somebody up and make them excited. He says that she slams her hand on the white dresser and the gun was on the nearby brown dresser. Here's the white dresser. There's the brown dresser way over there. So, they said they preserve everything when they come into the crime scene. They leave it as it was. This is where the empty space is in the dresser. There's keys and a phone. Her wedding rings. Perhaps she did put her wedding rings on the desk. Maybe she slammed her wedding rings on the dresser in frustration. But the gun is supposed to be over here on this one. And doesn't, just consider that when you're considering what he said. This is the other angle of the dresser. And then from across the room, it would be a little weird to just have a gun sitting on the dresser like that. But in any event, really the only slapping space is over here on this side of the dresser. And there's her rings. He also said that she charged him and was kicking him in the knees. And called him a piece of shit and said she was going to kill him. Now, we just spent, I don't know how long I've been reading, probably a while. Did any of that sound like she was homicidal and enough to go kill him? She's frustrated, she's despondent in her marriage, she's depressed, but is she homicidal? This is the surveillance video from PetSmart. We admitted it yesterday, but I didn't publish it at that time. They're short clips. This is the 2:58 view. Mind you, this is just after he would have texted her and said, "I'll see you after work." And he's walking just fine. Now, he hobbled up to the stand yesterday and hobbled back over there to the table. But he's, 2 years ago when this happened, he's walking just fine. He works as a stocker. He has to be able to lift at least 50 pounds. It's his job to take stuff off of these trucks and put them up in the shelves. So he's not feeble and fragile. And then this is when he leaves at 4:26. If it's playing. Yeah, here we go. And he gets around just fine. And he's walking with purpose at 4:26 because he's trying to get there before her. And here he is after he's been detained. No scratches on his face. No scratches on his hands. There's this red mark on his chest. He says it's a scratch. But he didn't say anything about Rosa hitting him in the chest in his testimony. And he also had to admit that he'd been handcuffed from the time that Gauntlet handcuffed him a little after 1 in the morning, and he's sitting in this room, and he's sitting all hunched over in the chair for like 6 hours. So when Masita gets there at 3, whatever it was, and takes these pictures. Also, nothing on his back. There may be a little scratch right here. Assuming this came from Rosa, which he didn't say. He didn't say she scratched his arms. He said he had a scratch. Assuming, for the sake of argument, that this was from Rosa, does that justify 4 gunshots? These were the messages. N1 and N2 are the same thing. One is in the chat bubble. The other is condensed and easier to read. But to Dolores is the one that suggested that she attacks you from behind, goes to your face, and you're disabled with that back condition. And he admits they didn't say anything was wrong with my back. So he admits that at this time that there's really nothing wrong with his back. And she wants to know, did you let him know you had surgery? He's like, yes, I did on my knee, but they say the amount of time that's passed doesn't fall under stand your ground. It doesn't have anything to do with stand your ground, but he's acknowledging that it has been some time since whenever he had these surgeries. And you just saw him walk across PetSmart. He's walking and getting around just fine. He said she was advancing towards him, so he advances towards her, and he grabbed the gun and went to shoot. And then he didn't know that he shot her. He thought he might have shot Cody because he heard him yelp, but he didn't know that he shot her. Well, here she is. This is her final place of rest in the corner of this room. She's got one leg partially under the bed. And he also said that he felt trapped because she had trapped him in the room. But she's the one that's on the far side of the wall, right? And he had said that he started at the bathroom, which would be in the opposite corner, and she was over here in this corner. This is that bag that he's referring to on the corner of the bed. Okay, well, hold on. Let me get back to this part. This is how she's positioned. And it's very tight space in here. So she's over here, and he would be like over here by the bathroom. But he says he felt trapped. She shot 4 times. One of them is right here on her nose on the left side. One of them is here on the left side of her head. One of them is here on her left side of her side. And the other one is down here on her leg. All of them are on the left side. So this goes through the nasal cavity and into the brain. This one also goes into the brain. But here's the other thing about it. There's stippling. These little red specks. This is the burning gunpowder or the unburnt gunpowder that scratches the skin and leaves the marks. And this indicates that it's at closer range. Less than 3 feet. Anywhere from 6 inches to 2 to 3 feet. So to put stippling, you got to be pretty close. Okay, that's really not that far. That's less than an arm's length. So he's going to know when he's aiming at the side of her head that he's shooting her. And her face, he shot her in the nose. And the stippling, it's close enough that the stippling even gets behind her ear. Right here, these other specks. And then this is the exits on the other side. Also, note, she's got a scratch on her neck, which appears to be around the same time. The medical examiner couldn't say for certain, but that looks like a fresh wound. And here's the positioning of it, and this is really important because look where she's at. 2 of the gunshots are up here. One's in her side, one's in her leg. But look at where her head is. And then when they roll her over, here's the exit wound. There's one here, and there's one here in her hair. There's a defect from a bullet in the floor, and then the projectile is this little brass thing right here. So she's got to be down on the pillow pretty much when he shoots her. Either right here or right here. It's one of these two, probably, that come out here. And she says he didn't know he shot her. Similarly, this is when she roll her over on her stomach. She's got the exit wound. This is the left side of these two injuries is the exit wound, according to the medical examiner. She says because there's, like, you can see the path of travel that the bullet took from this side to here. There's another defect in the floor. Well, here's the exit wound. And there's this other clearly simultaneous injury because it's actively bleeding. Here's the defect in the floor where this one came out too. So she had to be on the floor when she gets shot. And there's the projectile. And here's Cody, sweet Cody. He's shot 3 times, but look how tall Cody is. He's just above knee height. He's down low. But he says he didn't know he shot her. She had to be on the ground for at least 2 of the 4 shots. And Cody is shot 3 times. We know that there's 4 shell casings recovered, not as many projectiles recovered, but the projectiles are the things that are moving fast and get stuck in stuff once they're expelled from the gun, right? So if Cody shot 3 times, she's shot 4 times, at least 2 of those are while she's down on the ground, then he would have known that he shot her, and he would have known that he shot the dog at the same time. He said he moved her car because he needed time. And he didn't call the police because he was zombied out all day. You have 18 pages of single-space text messages, or 143 pages of bubble chat messages just between him and Dolores. That's all he's doing all day long is talking about it. So he's not that zombied out. Rosa got to the house at 5:59 in the morning, and he starts calling Dolores at 6:12 in the morning. So this had to have occurred within, I'm trying to do math in my head, 13 minutes. Allow her time to get in the house for whatever to happen, and then he shoots her, and then we'll allow him a minute or 2 to freak out about it because that's reasonable, and then he starts calling his sister. So in a span of 13 minutes, all of a sudden he is blowing up his sister's phone. Call, text, call, text, call. Finally, Dolores calls him back, and they talk for 9 minutes. And then they talk again for 2 minutes. And then the first text message after that call is, you made a promise, don't go back on your word. Talks to his sister for 9 minutes. You made a promise, don't go back on your word. And she says, you told me you killed her. I can't be an accessory to that. Well, you also listened to an hour of Investigator Crawford reading the text messages where she comes to his defense with the whole self-defense thing. But this right here, this doesn't sound like he told her it was self-defense. This sounds like he told her it was murder. And she can't be an accessory to that. And then this just shows, it's a completely different change in pattern. He hasn't really talked to her that much, but on this particular day, they talked a lot. And then he says he went to Milton to get advice. He didn't go to Milton to get advice. No matter what happens, you're still going to hide me, and no one will turn me in. I can't have anyone there to turn me in, sis. You have to have my back. Are you there? I need to know this before I come over. Are you there? Sis, are you there so I can head your way, please? None of that's about advice. That's about getting away. So consider this. He's had 2 years to try to perfect this story. He knows what the evidence is against him. I mean, all of that is provided. He's had 2 years to try to find a way to explain it in something palatable.
Yes. Objection overruled.
He's also had the benefit of watching the entire trial. And if you remember in opening statements, I told you that while he's charged with premeditated murder, I told you that I was going to show you that he lured Rosa to the house and that he surprised her because he hid his car in the back. Or that's what the evidence suggests, because there was freshly disturbed earth by the front gate and there were these tire marks in the backyard. And in the opening statement, Mr. Benson said that the lack of evidence is also important in this case too.
Overruled.
The representation was made that the defendant said that he pulled his car behind the house, or pulled the truck behind the house to load it with stuff. Well, Investigator Crawford, who did search the vehicle on July the 26th, there's nothing in the truck but some jeans, nothing in the back seat, nothing in the front seat. There was nothing in the, I didn't publish these pictures right here, but, glove box, center console, whatever, nothing in the bed of the truck. The only other stuff is this stuff in this chair by the front door at Dolores' house. That was his. So there's not a huge amount of stuff. And interestingly enough, none of that was part of the narrative when he testified. And then the other problem that he has is that even on the 23rd of July, he didn't believe it was self-defense. Because he asked his sister, should I put a knife in her hand? And this is early in the text messages. This is at 6:59, less than an hour. And then he admits, just before that even, 6:52, it's all good, I did this, it's on me. This is when, right after Dolores has said, I can't be an accessory to this. He says, it's all good, I did this, it's on me. And then later on in the afternoon, when he's been sitting around brooding about it, he says, she had to show deadly force under the law and she did not. And he admits this is a problem. I guess he's researching. What is self-defense? What is stand your ground? What is deadly force? He's doing his homework because there's a whole long discussion about it with his sister. Well, here's what the judge is going to tell you. This is the law on the justifiable use of deadly force. The defendant was justified in using deadly force if he reasonably believed that such force was necessary, as in essential, required, to prevent imminent death or great bodily injury. Imminent death or great bodily injury, or great bodily harm to himself. So he's got to really feel like he's about to die. She has the ability to kill him and is in the throes of getting ready to do that. That's what this is. So he wasn't wrong when he said that to Dolores. But based on all of the messages that he's sending, even he doesn't believe that it rose to that level. She might have been upset with him. Maybe she was upset because he was aggressive towards her and she's defensive. You also must consider the circumstances at the time the force was used. The danger need not have been actual. However, the appearance of danger must have been so real that the defendant actually believed that force was necessary. Remember, the circumstances of this are he wants to be there when she gets there. She just wants to get her stuff, her mom's stuff that's precious to her. She's already said she's done. He wants to be there. He wants to put himself in this situation. These are the circumstances. And then moreover, a reasonably cautious and prudent person under the same circumstances would have believed that the deadly force was necessary. Well, the reasonably prudent and cautious person in this is you. As the jury, you have to decide whether this was reasonable. You are the reasonably cautious and prudent person. So is this self-defense, really. And when you consider all of that, I submit to you that it is not. So we're going to talk about the different degrees of homicide. First, we start with first-degree premeditated murder. Second-degree murder is a lesser-included offense. Manslaughter is a lesser-included offense or not guilty. This is a simplified version of your verdict form. We're going to start with manslaughter. To prove the crime of manslaughter, there's two elements: that Rosa is dead and the defendant intentionally committed an act that caused her death. Has that been established? Absolutely. You don't believe that it's self-defense? Consider, is Rosa dead? Did he intentionally commit the act that killed her? Yes. The state does not have to prove that he intended to kill her. So yes, this is a manslaughter. Second-degree murder, the victim's dead, the death was caused by the criminal act of the defendant, and it was an unlawful killing by an act eminently dangerous to another, demonstrating a depraved mind without regard for human life, which is defined in the instructions as this. A person of ordinary judgment would know that that type of act is reasonably certain to kill or do serious bodily injury to another. Shooting him 4 times? Going to do it. It's done from ill will, hatred, spite, or evil intent, and indicates an indifference to human life. And the state doesn't have to prove that the defendant intended to kill him. So does he harbor ill will, spite, or hatred at her? He's been spewing it all over the text messages for a couple of weeks. Yes, he's angry with her. He's spiteful towards her. And in the moment, he could have acted with that ill will and that type of depraved mind. But he didn't. I don't have to prove that he intended to cause her death if you want to find that it is second-degree murder. All of this is present in this case. So yes, it is second-degree murder. First-degree murder, 3 elements. Rosa's dead, criminal act of the defendant, and that it was a premeditated killing. So these are the elements of premeditation. This is how it is defined in the instructions. It is a killing after consciously deciding to do so. The decision must be present in the mind at the time of the killing. The law does not fix the exact period of time that must pass between the formation of the premeditated intent to kill and the killing. Meaning, the law doesn't say that you have to plan it a week ahead of time. You don't have to plan it a day ahead of time. So long as it's done before you start pulling the trigger, so long as Tim had decided that before he starts pulling the trigger, then it was premeditated. And he could have made that decision 10 seconds before he started pulling the trigger. But I submit to you it was probably before that. The period of time just must be long enough to allow reflection by the defendant so that he knows what he's doing. And he's not acting on emotion. He's made the decision to do it. Now, what this instruction, one of the things that Mr. Benson had said is that the defendant made a lot of mistakes and a lot of bad decisions. And as it plays out, he went and hid her car. He fled to Milton. He did all these things. However, he didn't really get away with it. An exit plan is not, I don't have to prove to you, to prove premeditation, that he had a good exit plan. Nothing in here about that. The only thing that has to be premeditated is the intent to kill Rosa. not how he's going to get away after that. He didn't have to, I don't have to prove that he planned his escape and had a whole elaborate after plan, just that he intended to kill Rosa before he pulled the trigger. The premeditated intent to kill must be formed before the killing. And I submit to you that that has been proven. If you return a verdict of guilty, it has to be for the highest offense that has been proven beyond a reasonable doubt. So yes, we proved manslaughter. Yes, there's second-degree murder. And I'm going to tell you there's premeditated murder. You've just been reading all of these messages. And you see how it's going. Now, what it says to you is that he's losing control. He is losing control of Rosa. She is not doing what he wants her to do. And when a control freak starts to lose control, they cannot handle it. He was not going to let Rosa walk out on him. And I submit to you that by the time, all of those messages and all of those words, that email on the 22nd is the thing that tipped him over the edge. And right after that, as he's very insistent about, I need to see you, of course, he was very insistent all of the times. I need to see you, I need to see you. But he lures her over there. He knows that she will come for her mother's things. He leaves, walks out of work early. Was only there like an hour and a half, not even an hour and a half. Walks out, gets in his car, goes to the house. The only explanation for the tire tracks in the yard is for him to have pulled the truck behind the house to wait for her. And when she gets there, within 13 minutes, he's blowing up his sister's phone, and the statement that whatever it is he says to her in those 9 minutes, she responds with, I can't be an accessory to this. And he killed her. And he killed her because he couldn't live without her, and no one else would either. Now, there's also the second charge of aggravated animal cruelty. There's two elements. I'm going to take the second one first. The defendant's act resulted in excessive or repeated infliction of unnecessary pain or suffering to the animal. Shooting an animal, especially like this, is definitely an infliction of unnecessary pain and suffering. It is repeated because he shot Cody 3 times. And it's excessive because shooting an animal like this is always excessive. And that the defendant intentionally committed that act. Here's Cody. Here's one entry wound over his right ear, on his head. Here's the exit to that wound. This is the exit to that wound. There's another entry wound here, which exited here, and another entry wound here that exited here. Now we know that he has to be standing over top of Rosa to kill her. And he doesn't care that the dog's in the middle. He's pulling the trigger there too. And a dog is a dog. He's probably hopping around 3 times, twice in the head. And it is a miracle that Cody is fine. He didn't hit anything important. But Rosa shot through the dog. He's intending to shoot Rosa. And at least 3 of the shots into Rosa went through this dog. So he's intentionally shooting the dog. His claim is he loves Cody very much. Cody was stuck around him more than Rosa. He misses him, and he didn't mean to shoot Cody. But he shot him 3 times in order to shoot Rosa. This is back to Rosa and Tim's text messages. This is the very first page from July the 11th. Rosa says, the stupid dog shit in our room, but his stomach is not feeling well, so I didn't get him breakfast. Try to get the smell out. The defendant responds with, he shits in the house. I would imagine he says one more time. He will live out in the backyard or be gone, that simple. Just be gone. There's only 2 times Cody is mentioned in all of the text messages that you have. The other one is here, page 43, and this is in a stack of the constant replies, unanswered replies to Rosa, or unanswered pleas to Rosa. And he says, I will be getting rid of Cody because he doesn't deserve to be in a room all day. It's not fair to him. Well, that's very noble, if that's true. But I submit to you, this is another one of his manipulation tactics. Because now he's weaponizing Cody against Rosa amidst all the other things that he's trying to, ways that he's trying to control her actions or try to get her back. Now he's weaponizing Cody by saying that he's going to get rid of Cody. And if he loved Cody so much, he wouldn't just get rid of Cody. Even if his wife left him, hopefully he'd hold on to his, canine companion. A dog is a man's best friend and all that, but now he just says, I'm going to get rid of Cody. So consider that. Consider the sincerity of the defendant's statements. Consider the interest that he has in how you interpret his testimony. Consider the inconsistencies of all the statements that you've seen from what he said happened. And consider whether or not you think he's being honest. One of the things that the instruction says is to consider not only what the witnesses said, but how they acted when they testified. And you see he was almost studious when he responded to Mr. Benson's questions, very responsive and explaining all the things. And he spoke clearly and he sat up straight. Well, when I'm asking him questions, he didn't move the chair back, but he kept backing away to the point where he's so far from the microphone, the judge who's sitting right next to him can't hear him. Sir, you got to speak up. Sir, what are you saying? You couldn't hear him. It's almost like when you talk to children, when they know they've done something wrong, they don't want to talk, and they'll talk real quiet, and they get in trouble. And that's how the defendant was acting. So you should use your common sense in deciding which evidence is the best evidence. And you can choose to believe or disbelieve all or any part of the defendant's testimony or any other witness. My burden is to prove this case beyond a reasonable doubt. The law does not require me to prove it beyond all doubt. A mere possible, speculative, imaginary, or forced doubt is not a reasonable doubt. If you have a reasonable doubt, it has to be based on reasoning, common sense, after careful and impartial consideration of all the evidence. So, if you were to find the defendant not guilty because he acted in self-defense, you have to really consider, is that a commonsensical is it reasonable, and is it make good common sense in the context of all the evidence that you've heard over the last 2 days? And I submit to you that it doesn't. Not at all. The defendant was losing his marriage. It was falling apart. He was afraid that he was going to lose his house. The defendant was desperate. And in that moment, he was going to get the last word. And he'd made that decision when he told Rosa to be there. When he wasn't there, we could meet later to sign the papers for the house. Basically giving her another thing that he knows she wants. She's suggesting, let's sell the house so that you don't have to worry about this. Okay, I'll sign the papers. We'll meet later to sign the papers. Just come over here and get your stuff while I'm at work. And then he hides the car, And the next thing you know, within the next 13 minutes, she's dead. 4 gunshot wounds. So I submit to you that his version of the events, especially after you consider everything that he says to Dolores, the lies that he tells the Milton officer, the fact that he's trying to take off and get out of town, all of these things, those types of actions and statements and behaviors suggest that he knows he's guilty. And you know he's guilty too, because you've just listened to all of this evidence for 2 days. So I submit to you, you have everything you need to find him guilty of manslaughter, find him guilty of second-degree murder, and find him guilty of the highest offense, which has been proven beyond a reasonable doubt, first-degree premeditated murder.